welcome to our 6 o'clock news. It's Saturday, the 6th of July, and it's just past 6 o'clock. And in the news headlines this week, South Dorset has a new MP. The new MP is Lloyd Hatton from the Labour Party. Mr Hatton was elected with 15,659 votes, pipping outgoing MP Richard Drax, who has been the MP for 14 years and got just over 1,000 votes less with 14,611. The Reform and the Liberal Democrat candidates both had over 8,000 votes. Mr Hatton paid tribute to Mr Drax, the outgoing MP, in his speech. After the results were announced, he said, "Thank you to Richard Drax for 14 years of service here in South Dorset. I recognise it does take dedication and bravery to stand for any public office, and it must always be worthy of our respect." Mr Hatton said, "There are 3 things I'm looking to work on. Bringing the NHS back on its feet. I've had people saying how impossible it is to get a dentist, as well as how GP and NHS waiting lists are too long. I want to revitalise town centres, which have been struggling since the pandemic. And finally, I want to protect our cherished local environment. I'm so lucky that my constituency is the gem of the Jurassic Coast, and we do have a sewage spill scandal on our doorstep. So I'll be holding the big water companies to account so we can protect our environment." Speaking after the results, Richard Drax congratulated Lloyd Hatton. He said, "Congratulations, thank you to all those who campaigned for me and the wonderful team working with me over the past 14 years. It was a huge privilege to be MP in my home too. I love the job and meeting the scores of people. It's been a team effort and I've adored every moment. I'd like to wish Lloyd well." 65% of those eligible to vote in the South Dorset constituency turned out to vote on Thursday. Residents of the south of Weymouth Harbour were disappointed to learn this week that the drop-off point for cruise liners coming into Portland from coach won't be changing, despite the hope that it may have moved to the car park on the old North Quay Council offices site. Residents have been campaigning for a move amidst the chaos of multiple coaches trying to drop off and pick up hundreds of passengers in the Rodwell area behind the old Brewers Quay complex, causing congestion and other issues. Dorset Council has now said that the car park at North Quay will only be a contingency option, not the normal dropping off point. This week a cruise ship was in with around 4,000 passengers on, and the cruise liners seemed to have staff in the Rodwell Road, Spring Road area moving coaches on so that only one was dropping off or picking up at a time. A local resident said, "It's disappointing because I thought they would be moving to North Quay, but they are still using this small road." Another said, "It's dangerous to have buses continually using a drop-off point because it's on a blind bend." Now, there has been an increase in use of counterfeit money being used locally, and in particular a situation being investigated in Weymouth of a number of fake £20 notes being used in the town centre. With the help of the town's CCTV system, a suspect was located on the seafront in Weymouth, and a man is now helping police with their inquiries. A spokesman for Dorset Police said officers from the Weymouth and Portland Neighbourhood Policing Team were on 100 days of summer patrol today when we were alerted via the bid rangers of a person passing fake £20 notes in the town centre. Officers from our team, with the help of the town's CCTV operators, managed to locate one of the suspects on the seafront. That man is now helping with our inquiries. We would ask businesses to check your day's takings. If you feel you have been a victim, then make the team at Dorset Police know on 101. Now, to check the £20 notes, the key thing is to look for the clear panel next to the portrait of the Queen, on obviously the King, on newer stuff as it comes out, to make sure that there is a clear panel there and it's not just a printed note. So there should be a clear see-through window by the Queen or King's head on the £20 note. Now, Dorset Council has marked NHS Social Care and Frontline Workers Days with a flag-raising ceremony at County Hall yesterday morning. The 5th of July is a National Day of Thanks to show gratitude to all frontline staff and critical workers, and a day to celebrate all those who have worked so tirelessly to help our country through the coronavirus crisis and who continue to support some of the most vulnerable people in society. It is also a day of remembrance for those who have lost their lives during this dreadful time. The last post was performed following a 2-minute silence and the reveille. The ceremony at the memorial outside County Hall was led by Chair of the Council, Councillor Stella Jones MBE. Representatives from various sectors, the NHS, Dammery, Dorset Police, Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service, Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance, Swanage Lifeboat, Care Dorset, and officers from Dorset Council for Children's and Adults Social Care attended the ceremony. Dignitaries included His Majesty's Lord Lieutenant, Mr Angus Campbell, CVO, the High Sheriff of Dorset, Mr Anthony Woodhouse, and the Mayor Emeritus of Dorchester, Councillor Robin Potter and Mrs Val Potter. The Area Manager Mark House, who's the head of prevention at Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue, has said this week the firefighters control room operates and all staff from across the Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue area who have supported the Wareham Forest Fire and most recently the Camford Heath Fire and worked extremely hard to bring these under safe conclusion, have said that these incidents highlight how devastating and resource-intensive wildfires are. With the nice weather hopefully on the way, it's only natural to want to go outdoors and enjoy it with friends and family, but it's also important to stay fire aware when out and about so there aren't reoccurrences of these sorts of incidents. The idea behind Bring a Picnic, Not a Barbecue campaign is to remind those enjoying the countryside that bringing a picnic is a much safer option than having a barbecue. The Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue are joining forces with other emergency service colleagues and partner agencies to remind the public to protect our environment this summer and avoid having fires or barbecues on our heathland or in our forests. The effects can be devastating to communities, nature and wildlife. Mark Warren, who's a wildlife ranger from Forestry England, said Wareham Forest is one of the most important places in the UK for nature and conservation, with much of the wildlife found here having already disappeared from other parts of the country. It is one of a few places where it's still possible to find all 6 of the UK's native reptiles, including the endangered smooth snake and sand lizard, and it's home to many rare species of birds and insects. The wildfire here showed how somewhere, especially this, can be so quickly devastated by one careless act. We all have a role in preventing wildfires, and one of the simplest ways is to leave the barbecue at home. They are not permitted and not welcome in the forest. Now, the Countryside Rangers are committed to enhancing and protecting the wild spaces and coastline. However, they cannot diminish the risk of fires completely, which is why campaigns such as this one are hugely important for everyone. They highlight the dangers of using disposable barbecues in high-risk areas, especially during periods of very hot weather. They encourage everyone to choose alternatives to barbecues when out and about, or use one of the free electric barbecues when visiting the beach, so everyone can enjoy a safe experience and help protect the natural environment. Now, there is information available on the Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue website at www.dwfire.org.uk heath-fires-and-country-safety. So if you just type heat fires and countryside safety, Dorset Fire, then I'm sure you will get to it on Google rather than trying to remember that long website name. Now, Weymouth South Scout Group in Wyke, Regis is looking for people to volunteer and help support local children and activities that they take part in. Based in Rylands Lane in Wyke, Regis, made up of several sections from squirrels, that's the youngest ones, right through to explorers, age ranges 4 through to 18. Currently there are over 171 young people in the group, and it's now looking for more adult volunteers to join and offer an hour or 2 a week of their time. The group have said that across the group we aim to provide the young people with life skills based around the scouting values. Our weekly sessions and the activities that we run for the young people are led by the age-appropriate challenges and guides of the Scout Association in order for young people to achieve awards and badges. We are extremely lucky in the local area that we can take advantage of the amazing surroundings with great hikes, access to the sea and many local groups and specialists who come along to see our young people and support our activities. As the group is growing and more youngsters are wanting to join, they need more adults to join them so that they can expand further for those young people in Wyke Regis and beyond. Now, if you're interested in becoming a volunteer with the Weymouth South Scout Group, then you can give Adrian a call on 07 979 601 340. That's 07 979 601 340. Now, pupils at a primary school in Dorset received a standing ovation after performing a song they wrote at an educational conference. South Hill Primary School Pop Stars opened the Dorset Education Conference held at Weymouth College last week. The theme of the day was One of a Kind, celebrating the uniqueness of every child and young person in Dorset. It was attended by leaders in education from across the county, which included youth representatives, guest speakers and authors who travelled to attend. Pop stars from the school took to the stage and performed 2 songs with plenty of enthusiasm and received a 3-minute applause and standing ovation. The pupils were accompanied by Dan Bell on guitar and sang a cover of Pink's Cover Me in Sunshine, as well as a special song written and composed with Mr. Bell entitled Just Be You. The lyrics of the song Just Be You were written by pupils at the school, at South Hill Primary School. Now, more than 500 affordable homes have been built for Dorset residents in the last financial year as Dorset Council continues to respond to the significant and growing need for affordable housing. In the year to March 2024, 508 new affordable homes were provided by locally active housing associations, otherwise known as registered providers. The developments include rented and shared ownership homes and houses for essential local workers. These sites were built either by housing associations or acquired by the council in the year to March 2024. And these included houses in the South Dorset area that we cover, 34 houses in Weymouth, 31 in Chickerell and 15 in Portland. In the next few months, a range of new sites will be completed. These include 50 houses at the former Royal Manor School on Portland, being built by Magna Housing, a second smaller rural exemption site at Maiden Newton in West Dorset, and the East Borough site at Corfmullen in the east of the county. The council is also benefiting from having a DEFRA-sponsored rural enabling housing officer for 1 day a week. Jackie Cuff is working for Dorset Community Action to help officers already working in the housing enabling and delivery team. As a UK government-funded DEFRA project being managed by Action with communities in rural England, it has been designed to help boost the supply of affordable housing in rural areas by creating a national network of rural housing enablers. The 12-month initiative is part of a strategy to mitigate the displacement of rural working population and their families caused by the increase in both house prices and rent costs. Most of the 508 affordable homes receive financial support from Homes England and are built by housing associations such as Abbury, Astor, Eastborough, Hastow, Magna, Sovereign and Stone Water. Now, police officers are investigating a serious injury collision in Weymouth and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information or dashcam footage to come forward. Dorset Police received a report at 12:23 on Friday the 28th of June that a grey Mercedes B200 had collided with an outside terrace area at the Nook Bar on the Esplanade, Weymouth. 2 pedestrians, a woman aged in her 20s and a man aged in his 40s, sustained serious injuries during the incident and were taken to hospital for treatment. Their injuries are not life-threatening and they have since been discharged. The elderly male driver of the car did not sustain any serious injuries. The Esplanade was closed to allow emergency services safely to deal with the incident. Police Constable Steve Eastwood of the traffic unit said, "Our inquiries are ongoing to establish the full circumstances of the collision. The seafront will have been busy at this time of day and I'm keen to speak to anyone who saw what happened and has not already spoken to the police." Excuse me. Also, if you are travelling in the area and you have dashcam fitted to your vehicle, I'd ask you to please check your footage for anything of relevance. I'd like to thank the public for their patience and understanding while the area was cordoned off. This was to allow for the safety of the public and for a thorough examination of the scene to be carried out. Also from Dorset Police this week, officers are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward following a report of an assault in Weymouth. Dorset Police received a report at 11:10 on Saturday the 29th of June that a man had been found with an injury to his arm at a taxi rank in Western Road in Weymouth. Officers attended and following inquiries, it was reported that the injured man aged in his 20s had been assaulted by a man who was known to him outside Snook's Bar in Caroline Place. The injured man did not require immediate hospital treatment. Police Constable Chloe Seward of Weymouth and Portland Police said, "We are carrying out a number of inquiries into this incident. I'm keen to hear from anyone with information that might assist our inquiries. I understand there were a number of other people in the area at the time of the assault, and I would urge anyone who saw what happened to please contact us." I understand that there were another people at the time of this assault, and I would urge anyone who saw what happened to contact us. Finally, I would like to hear from anyone who has captured any relevant footage either on dash cam or home CCTV. Now, I've just been passed a message, that was why I was a bit disturbed, to say that the date on the bottom of the screen is wrong, so we will try and rectify that in a minute. Now, moving on. Detectives investigating the theft and subsequent fraudulent use of bank cards are issuing CCTV images of a man they would like to identify. Sometime between Monday the 15th of April and Monday the 22nd of April, a bank card and PIN number were intercepted in the post at an address in West Horsley in Surrey. Now, you might say that's out of our area and not of interest, but the bank information has been used locally. The bank card was subsequently used on Monday the 22nd of April to make fraudulent withdrawals of cash from various NatWest Bank branches in Dorset, Somerset and Hampshire, totalling almost £11,000. Detective Constable Michael Wyke from Dorset Police said an investigation is underway to establish exactly when the bank card and PIN code documentation were stolen. As part of my inquiries, I have obtained CCTV images of a man believed to be using the stolen bank card, and I would ask anyone with information about his identity to please come forward. So, if you want to contact Dorset Police about that or any of those other incidents, you can do it on the usual number, 101, or via Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111. Now, a new exhibition by Joss Hollingshead of Durlston Country Park in Swanage uses stunning, colourful and complex paintings to explore environmental, social and religious themes from around the world. Running from the 3rd to the 18th of July, the large scale and varied heightened colour of the canvases create a sense that the spectator could enter the painting, where myriad vignettes tell a story and details of the margins of the scene reveal hidden meanings. At the age of 14, Josh began drawing by copying the old masters, and at 16 he moved on to painting on canvas. Dedicating himself to painting, he adapts his technique for each new painting, be it through use of metallic underlays or phosphorescent acrylic for creating glow-in-the-dark images. Vicious thick oils or powdery paint rubbed into the canvas is also used. The symbolism of colours fascinates him. Now, Ali Tucky from Durlston Country Park said Josh's work is truly unique and his pictures are not only jaw-dropping, beautifully and humorous, but encourage the viewer to think about our global environment and society. Now, the exhibition is open at Durlston Country Park daily from 10:30 to 5 p.m. And if you want further information, you can go to www.durlston.co.uk. Now, a popular bus service has been reintroduced from today. Operated by the first bus company, the X53 Jurassic Coaster, which serves communities in East Devon and West Dorset, will be adding an earlier service. The Saturday service will leave the Talbot Arms in Upline at 7:10 a.m. and travel via Lyme Regis, Bridport and Abbotsbury, arriving in Weymouth at 8:58 a.m. This is some 2 hours earlier than the current service, which starts in Axminster Railway Station. There was previously an earlier service on this route, but it was scrapped in May as part of the network review, which also saw the launch of a trial service of the X51, diverting via Martinstown and Winterbourne Steepleton. The decision to remove the X53 early service was met with opposition from locals who rely on buses to make their commute to work. In response to these concerns, the bus company said it would reintroduce the timetable until at least September. The Transport Lobby Group, West Dorset Western Area Transport Group, has been campaigning to get an earlier service reinstated, and Bob Driscoll, who's the chairman, welcomed the news by saying at this time of year an earlier service is awfully useful. On a Saturday there may be tourists who want to leave earlier to enjoy a full day out somewhere, and it's more important for local people who are relying on buses to get to work. And finally, in our news headings, news headlines this week. An author and illustrator has penned a series of children's books on environmental issues to support a community conservation group. Amanda Baldwin, who you can see in the picture, has published the first in a series of books entitled Sam the Seagull, hoping to teach children about the importance of protecting the environment and sea life around coastal towns. A portion of proceeds from the book sales will go towards Weymouth and Portland's Marine Litter project. Having frequently visited Weymouth over the years, Amanda, who lives in Berkshire, decided to pair her passion for writing and illustrating with environmental activism to create fun yet educating stories. She said, "We visit the coast many times in the year with friends. We love the seaside in Weymouth and it's beautiful, but there is a real problem with litter at the moment. We're trying to protect the environment for children and wildlife as we're encroaching on their space. We need to educate people to look after our planet better." Her series of books will be aimed at younger children from 0 through to 3 and 4 years old. By telling the story through the eyes of a seagull, Amanda hopes it will teach children subtle yet valuable lessons about not littering, taking rubbish back home, and not giving human food to seagulls. She said, "We need to be aware of the creatures and our animals that we are sharing our planet with. Let's all be more responsible." And as we say, that some of the funds from that are going to the Weymouth and Portland Marine Litter project, which has been urging people not to leave rubbish on beaches and regularly goes around organising cleanups and collecting rubbish from our beaches. So that is the end of our headlines tonight. Now, next this week, and I'll try and sort out the date on the screen while we're watching this report, and as we come towards the school summer holidays, we're going to hear about some of the activities being organised by Dorset Council through their holiday activity and food programme.
The Holiday Activity and Food Programme is a programme of activities for children and young people aged 5 to 16. It's a wide range of activities, so it gives young people the chance to try new things, to challenge themselves and really have fun during those school holidays.
I think coming here is very, very fun, then because I get to hang out with new people.
If it wasn't for the holiday club, we'd struggle with childcare and being able to work. So I think it's fantastic that HAF and Dorset Council support such activities to allow working families to be able to go back to work as well.
I did mud painting.
We've also got arts and crafts, so if your child isn't a little bit sporty but would still like to take part in the programme, we've got quite a lot of water sports taking place as well.
I love doing this sort of thing because it's so fun and I feel talented, so happy.
The inclusive part is that we welcome everyone.
They understand her, they get to know her, they build those relationships. As a parent, we feel confident in leaving her there because we know that they can support her special educational needs.
It was incredibly fun, especially the giant paddleboard. We were doing flips, jumps.
Is the holiday activity and food programme, so it's just as important as the activity. We've also partnered up with the Friendly Food Club. Our providers are asked to deliver that food education as part of the programme.
There was a lot of different things in there that I haven't tried. It gives me more things to try in different combinations. You learn different things, you get to cook food. It's taught me some skills as well.
And do I walk around with a knife?
No.
No.
Here is really a good place to keep people occupied in the holiday and have fun. I've made new friends. I've seen friends that go to my school.
It is open to everybody. Everyone gets the same meals, everyone gets the same activities.
We're testing eggs, see if it floats or not floats, and it didn't float. I like science and I think it's just really good because you get to learn more about the world around you. I probably want to be a scientist.
I love to dance. I love dancing.
We just want all the kids to accept children how they are, because obviously some people are different.
For a teenager who doesn't do sport often and don't know what they're doing, it's fine. It's important that you give people those opportunities so they can feel included and do everything with everyone else. It's best to go outside and have fun, releases stress, makes you ready.
It prepares me for waking up early for school. You keep you entertained, more active.
It gets you like calmer for the school, so you're not like all chaotic.
If you're coming here, you're waking up at a certain time, you're getting ready. We get to learn new things. Really fun. Great.
Glad my parents booked me in for this.
I feel happy when I'm here. I love coming here. It's really fun. You should definitely come along.
There we go, that's from Dorset Council, and it's their holiday activity and food programme. All sorts of things happening over the summer to entertain young people. If you want to find out more and all the activities on offer, if you go to Google and search for Dorset Council Summer in Dorset, Dorset Council Summer in Dorset, Summer in Dorset is the short name for the programme, then you will find a page with all the information of all the different things that are happening. And by the wonder of science, you will see that the date at the bottom of the screen now says Saturday the 6th of July 2024. So thank you to whoever spotted that. I don't know whether it was one of my family here, or whether somebody phoned in or emailed in and said, actually, does Gary realise he's got the wrong date on the screen? But whoever noticed it, thank you very much. We have rectified that this evening. Now it's time in our programme for our regular contributor, Andrew Wright, with this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, Kung Fu Panda 4 was released on home video. The film stars Jack Black as Po, a panda who became the Dragon Warrior in the first film. And this film revolves around Po being forced to find a successor, whilst teaming up with a fox bandit played by Awkwafina in order to defeat an evil sorceress played by Viola Davis. Now, this was my first time watching the film, and I was a bit apprehensive going in because I felt like the third film was a pretty natural conclusion. This film was definitely had very much of an epilogue feel, felt like pretty definitive ending, you know, closing the book on the franchise, or certainly Po as the main character. In general, it's only okay, thanks to the amount of time that's passed. The animation looks better than in the first films, in the first three films. Yeah, it seems, but it's just only okay, and it felt like it should have been more dramatic, more of a drama film rather than recycling the same old comedy routine. I gave the film 3 stars out of 5. This week, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F was released on Netflix as a Netflix original film as the sequel to 1994's Beverly Hills Cop 3. The film takes place 30 years after the third film and revolves around Eddie Murphy's Detroit PD detective Axel Foley, who returns to Beverly Hills when his estranged daughter's life is threatened. The film also stars actors reprising their roles from the previous films and are joined by actors Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Kevin Bacon. I really don't like the original films, because they're not funny. Eddie Murphy was not funny. But I was actually surprised at the fact that this new film was not terrible, because I went in with sort of middling expectations, because I'd seen the first 3 films. They were bad, but the trailers for this film looked good. So the film is funny when it's being over the top absurd, like during there's a trailer. It's a sequence that was shown in a trailer. It's like a snow pile sequence. That's funny. the film is funny when it's just being over the top absurd, but it's not being funny when it tries to reuse stuff from the previous films, like Eddie Murphy trying to fast talk his way into a lie, into somewhere as like a lie while he's lying while doing it. Like, that stuff's not funny, and he thinks it's funny. But the film is, I do like the fact that the film has not tried to grow up and try new things. But a lot of the film is sort of like saying, hey, it's Eddie Murphy, he's back as Axel Foley, it's been 30 years, and he's a 60-year-old man trying to be a 20-year-old. So I gave the film 3 stars out of 5. Wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week. Well, I'll be previewing the UK release of Despicable Me 4. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you, Andrew, for this week's film review and preview. We now are going over to the Met Office for the weekend weather forecast, and this week we are joined by Catherine Chalk.
Hello, we've seen some heavy outbreaks of rain through this morning. As we go into the afternoon, sunny spells and scattered showers developing. So looking at the latest radar from earlier, we had some heavy spells of rain across Wales, the Midlands into East Anglia and across parts of Aberdeenshire, all to do with an area of low pressure. That's going to be clearing its way eastwards. May just see some heavy spells of rain across parts of Norfolk. Elsewhere though, sunny spells, scattered showers breaking out. Some of the showers could be on the heavy side at times, and we have got a bit of a breeze coming in from the northwest, and that's going to have an impact on our temperatures today. So feeling rather cool for the time of year underneath any cloud, generally around 16 or possibly 18, maybe 19 degrees in the southwest. But across parts of Scotland where we've got some cloudier conditions and outbreaks of rain across Aberdeenshire, struggling here, temperatures only really at around 12 degrees. As we go through Saturday evening, showers generally fading across parts of England and Wales for a time, still continuing across parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland, but clearer spells generally developing into the east before further rash of showers coming up from the southwest later on in the night. So clear spells for many of us to start Sunday morning, but temperatures generally around 10 or 11 degrees, but across parts of Scotland, generally a fresher feel here, with temperatures perhaps dropping into the mid or low single figures. So bright start across parts of Scotland, eastern parts of England, but showers coming in towards the southwest and northwestern parts of England where they could be heavy and possibly thundery. As we go through the afternoon, showers generally breaking out more widely across Northern Ireland and parts of England. Some of these still could be on the heavy side, drier further towards the north of parts of Scotland. Still a few showers, but there will be some brighter spells in between, but most of us probably catching 1 or 2 heavy downpours at times. There will be some lighter winds around compared to today. That will help just lift the temperatures up slightly, maybe 18 or 19 degrees, especially in any spells of sunshine and across parts of Scotland, especially parts of Aberdeen, recovering nicely up to around 15 to 17 degrees. As we go through Sunday evening, there will be some late evening spells of sunshine. Any showers should generally start fading into the night to leave clear spells, and that will allow temperatures to drop once again, actually more widely, dropping down into the single figures. But as we go through Monday, another area of low pressure is coming up from the south, and that will gradually push its way northwards into Tuesday. So some unsettled weather to come once again. So make sure to hit subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss an update. I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Catherine, for the weekend weather forecast. And let's see what the local forecast has in store for us this coming week. And here we go. Temperatures rather settled, but it looks like we could have some thundery storms on the way. Those lightning strikes there through to Wednesday. So maybe a bit unsettled, unpredictable, but possibly humid as well. We will just have to see what the weather brings. And I often find that we can't rely on the weather forecast from the Met Office here down on the south coast because things do quite often become changeable and unreliable. Right, moving to our What's On session. Lots of good things coming up at Weymouth Pavilion. We'll talk about them first. We have on the 11th of July, Celine, My Heart Will Go On. 14th of July, the Beach Boys Tribute Show. 25th of July, The Magic of Motown. And then we've got some comedians coming. 27th of July, Sarah Millican. 3rd of August, Jimmy Carr. And 8th of August, Joe Pasquale. Some famous names there. 10th of August, we've got Shawaddy Waddy 50th Anniversary Tour coming to Weymouth. And 17th of August, the Bowie Experience. Those are just a selection of some of the shows and things going on at Weymouth Pavilion. There is an absolute packed programme available online at weymouthpavilion.com where you can also book tickets, or you can book tickets through the box office on 01305 783 225. Now, turning to the Know That Fort, they've got acoustics on the terrace tomorrow, 7th of July. Victorian weekend, 20th and 21st of July. 3rd of August, Songs in the Summertime with Wessex Musical Theatre. 15th of August, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And the 29th of September, Pause for Fort. knowthefort.org.uk for more information on their website. Now, turning to Arts Reach. In my door this week, a new Arts Reach programme arrived, and as you can probably see, it says Creative Summer Children's Activity Programme for the summer of 2024, and there's a full programme of activities and shows and concerts specifically aimed at children over the July-August period. Also available online, so pop along to their website, artsreach.co.uk. You could have a little trip out into one of the Dorset villages, maybe a bite of lunch, and then maybe take part in one of the things that are coming up for children. Now, I'm just going to open up and see, they've got puppet making workshops, stop motion animation, African drumming, lights, camera, action, that's something to do with creating films, story making, Jurassic monsters, things about dragons, circus skills, all sorts of things. So have a look at their website. If you're looking for something different to do for your children, something active, get out there in rural Dorset, in one of our villages, have a nice lunch somewhere and take part in what Arts Reach are doing. So again, that's artsreach.co.uk. Just also to remind you that quite a lot is still going on in Abbotsbury and Portisham. They're celebrating their millennium. They were both granted as manors in 1024 by King Canute. So pop along to their website, map24.org, map24.org, to find out what is going on there. Also, we've mentioned before the week of Thomas Hardy events with the Thomas Hardy Conference 2024, running from 27th of July to the 3rd of August. If you search for Thomas Hardy Society and pop along to their website online, you'll see all the events, and there's tons of events going on over that week, all to do with Thomas Hardy. In Wyke, Regis here, we've got our Church Ale at All Saints Church, Wyke, Regis. Church Ales were traditional events done by church wardens over many, many centuries to raise much needed funds for the church, and obviously featured ale. The event in Wyke on the 20th of July will be no different, I'm told. There will be ale available. But there'll also be things for the children, like a teddy zip wire from the tower, which is always very, very popular. You can bring a picnic along, sit on the church lawn, have some fun with the teddy zip wire. There's, I think, a brass band playing. There's probably going to be a barbecue and all sorts of other things going on. So that's the 20th of July from 2 p.m. and there will also be tower tours available. You can book to go up to the tower to see the views from the top of the tower and learn a bit about the history of the ringers and the bells in the tower. Those can be booked online at www.parishofwhiteregis.org.uk/events. Also, there'll be an outdoor performance of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet on Portland at the Pennsylvania Castle Estate, July the 23rd. Haven't found out where you can get tickets for that yet, but just have a search for Pennsylvania Castle Shakespeare and hopefully something will pop up. I will see if by next week I can get some details of how to book for that. Now, church services in Wyke Regis tomorrow, a communion service at All Saints Church, and then a joint parish service, a cafe church, one of those more informal style services with toast and tea available at 9:30 tomorrow. Our other programme available tonight is our quiz at 7:30. Please do feel welcome to join us and come along to that. We'd love to have you there. It's free, it's family friendly, and it's for the whole community. Now, I'm sure there must be another episode of A Year Gardening with Clive Gray available. I'm going to check that out, and if it is, we will get that up for you to watch as well. So do watch out for that. Now, that brings us to the end of this week's programme. Thank you for joining us. If you've got any news for us or any events that are happening over the school holidays or the summer, do drop us a line at news@wykeregis.tv. We would love to share it with everyone who follows our programme. I hope you've had a good week, and this weekend and the weekend will be good for you, and I look forward to being back with you next weekend. Good night.